I have an unbelievable amount of respect for Kash Patel, and he responded accordingly. He responded correctly, and he responded professionally. There's a lot of senators that I personally think are ridiculous. Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer, these guys all look like they were born to do something illegal. All right. We are back here. We are back at Gallagher's Grip for another awesome daily grip. Back here in the south side of Chicago, where we are going to come to you live. And we're going to talk about a man. We're going to talk about a man who I just gained an unbelievable amount of respect for. A man who I watched very closely handle what I would call was one of the most grueling displays of being attacked that I think I've ever seen, next to certainly Donald Trump, President Trump, and that man, his name is Kash Patel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again, Gallagher's Grip is really not a political platform, but it just seems like it's going that way with a lot of stuff that's taking place. And I come to you and I tell you that I have an unbelievable amount of respect for Kash Patel after what I witnessed, after what I saw, and after the brutal beating the man was set up to take, but yet he didn't take it. And boy, oh boy, did he not take any of it, and he responded accordingly. He responded correctly, and he responded professionally. And that man, my Lord, could you imagine being in that seat and the way that he handled himself and what he did when he was getting grilled, certainly by Cory Booker. And look, there's a lot of senators that I personally think are ridiculous. Certainly Cory Booker's one of them. Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer, these guys all look, they all look like they were born to do something illegal. They were born to do something, to screw the system. That display that Senator Booker actually put on, that show, that falsehood, that fakeness, that level of anger and that outcry that he displayed to Kash Patel was so uncalled for, it wasn't even funny. In fact, the man made himself look so embarrassing that once again, he is continuing to dig the grave of the Democratic Party. There's no question about it. There is a way that you could talk to somebody that is professional and that is diplomatic and of a senatorial, let's say, mindset. And it's certainly not a bunch of kids bickering at each other for no reason whatsoever. He says that Kash Patel won't be long. I completely disagree with that. I think that Kash Patel is doing a shockingly amazing job. And I always ask myself, why would somebody think that he's not? Why would people gang up on him and go after him when the man's statistics with regards to criminals that he has arrested and drug traffickers that he has arrested and child molesters and child traffickers that he has stopped and or eliminated? Why would you go against something so positive, something so good, and somebody who's trying so hard to make, again, this the great land of the United States of America safe again? I just can't seem to process that through my head. I don't know. And I always jump back to the conclusion that, when one side is winning and the other side is not, the other side that's not winning must come up with something, must say something, must do something, must outcry, must scream and yell and kick, just to let the party know that they're out there and they're breathing, they're trying to actually do something. It's embarrassing. I don't understand how a human being can be a Democrat in today's day and age with what we have seen, with what is going on. I just simply don't understand it. And what scares me the most, ladies and gentlemen, is that they are everywhere. And the hard left loonies, what I call them, the Looney Tune lefties, the real radical left, left Democratic folks out there that don't have the ability to think at any level other than staying within their pigeonholed thought process. They're very dangerous and they're out there. And the problem is that they're right next to you. The problem is you're probably talking to one of them right now, or you're going to work with a bunch of them right now. What is the reality behind that? They're everywhere. And it's very, very scary to know that there are people out there at that level of lunacy that just simply doesn't care. Look, I didn't want to bring this up, but with Charlie Kirk's assassination, rather, it was mind-boggling to me how many people came out in support of that murder. It was unbelievable. And I said to myself, stay away from it. It's a terrible tragedy. Not because I didn't want to talk about it, but because I didn't know him that well. And I knew of him, but I didn't know him that well. And the reality is what happened was a shock. It was a disgusting shock. And I'm trying to keep my cool. And I'm trying to keep my temper, so to speak. If you watch me, I can get a little worked up. But overall, it reminds you of the hardcore left Democratic lunatics. And it really pisses me off that these lefties out there that think that their mission and goal is the right mission and goal. It's uncalled for. And the American people, the Republicans of this great country, will stand for that no more. The Chuck Schumers, we will stand for him no more. The Cory Bookers, no more. The Adam Schiffs, no more. We will stand for no more lunacy. We will not deal with this level of craziness anymore in the Republican Party. And we stand for something that is good, something that is strong, something that is free, and something that is real. And I just don't understand why more Democrats can't take a step back and look at that to be the case. Look, you guys always bombard me with comments about, Daniel, why do you say that? Or why are you bringing this? Or who do you think you are? Look, I'm a guy who's trying to give you my opinion here. I like to think I'm a voice for the Republican Party. I'm a voice for a lot of things that stand for good and a lot of things that stand for freedom. And I believe that the Republican Party stands for more good and more freedom than any Democratic Party has ever stood for in the history of America, period, end of story. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry. But I read, I watch, I listen. I am in tune with reality, and reality is sad. Reality, ladies and gentlemen, is sad because for all the Republicans that are out there and they listen and they watch and they go to work and they bust their ass and they try to make something happen to themselves, they listen and they watch and they see all this crazy stuff going on and they see all of this crazy stuff on social media, all the happiness about Charlie Kirk's death and all of the comments that were praising this incident. It made me sick. It made me sick to my stomach. And, you take that ball of anger and then you take a Kash Patel, the FBI director under President Trump, and then you take a whole panel of Democratic senators doing nothing but they have to, because they were voted in, do nothing but the kick, scream, yell, and fight. And I am telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I have watched many of these, and I've never been more proud of a person in my entire life. I thought he handled himself and conducted himself as a utter professional. But more so, I was incredibly proud of him for not taking any shit. Because the days of taking the shit are over. And I think the United States of America, I think they're finally starting to see it. The Democratic circle, the hard lefties, the real hardcore left Democratic Party, I think they're finally starting to see it. You guys are floating out there, and you guys might be able to have your day again. But I can assure you this: we have awakened. We are not going anywhere. We are not ever going to back down from you. No matter what you think you are or what you represent, we'll come at you. We'll come after you in a professional format. What I actually like to speak about a little bit too is, when you see somebody get assassinated on all over social media, world news now, what really makes me I don't want to use the word proud, but what really stands out is the fact that we didn't have any buildings that were burned down. We didn't have any windows that were broken. We didn't have any cars that were set on fire. Really think about it, people, because the smart people do think about it. And the smart people who actually have a brain on their heads do understand the difference between A and B. And there is a huge difference. We didn't throw rocks at people. I mean, we did nothing. You want to know what we did? We bowed down and we prayed for a man's life that was lost, that absolutely should not have been lost, period, end of story. And we all came together as a group and as a party of people, and we are giving thanks and praising for him and his wife and his children. Disgusting what happened to him. Absolutely disgusting. Should have never have happened. I see that ball of anger, and now what I believe is happening is that the lion has been unleashed. As President Trump has put it, the far right has been launched, and I'm not a far righter. I'd say I'm more of a moderate Republican, but I am a proud Republican, and I do believe in the Republican ways. Ladies and gentlemen, the reality is it's shocking out there right now with what's occurring. And I believe that for the first time, American citizens are actually seeing how it has always been, not how it is or what it is growing into, but the real disdain between two political parties here in the United States has been highlighted at the highest level possible. There are Democrats and there are Republicans. And I'm sorry, I don't believe in anything in the middle as far as independents go. I just don't. What we are witnessing is a new era, in my opinion, an era where the Republicans are people who have let it go, who have swallowed their pride, who have swallowed their comments, who have swallowed their emotions for decades and decades. But you want to know something? The show's over. The Republican Party is coming out via a movement that we've never seen before. The Democrats and everybody that floats on the left side of the boat, you can see it. It's indisputable. You can call me what you will. But the reality is a fact. And the fact is that it is a wonderful, great thing that is occurring, in my opinion, in America. And it's that we are tired. We're done. We're tired. We're sick of it. We're sick of the thought process. We're sick of these people with these mindless, ridiculous comments and thought processes that tend to lean more on the Democratic side than any other side. And I'm proud. I am proud to be a Republican in this country, and I am proud that I've got hundreds of millions of other Republicans that are also proud. And we are now proud to actually stand up and say it, which is a big difference, because before we didn't say it. We didn't need to say it. We're proud to be Republicans. It's almost like we were afraid to say it at parties because we're surrounded by all kinds of people that may or may not be Republicans. I'm a Republican, and I'll get that tattooed on my chest. I don't really care. If you watch me and you follow my podcast, I don't care. I speak for the American people. I speak for what I think is right and correct. And I'm telling you right now, going back to the Senate hearing, and going back to our FBI director under Donald J. Trump, I am telling you right now, Kash Patel was, in my opinion, one of the most impressive men I have seen in a great long while. And what has made me so proud is how he handled himself. And please do not tell me otherwise. The man was a rock star. The man was fed up. The man finally said what he wanted to say to all of these people on the panel that just had to open up their mouths and balk like a chicken. Cory Booker, for sure. His display of professionalism should actually not get him reelected as a state senator at any level. I hope the people in his home state wake up at this point and realize that to be the case. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at a crossroads here in this country, in my opinion. I think that we are now seeing how it really is. I think that we're now able to connect the dots. And what I mean by that is there are Republicans and there are Democrats out there, and there is a massively huge distinction between how each party feels, what each party thinks, and what each party stands for. And the reality is that I, Daniel Gallagher, and Gallagher's Grip, we are a Republican party. We believe in the Republican Party, the thought processes, the mindsets. We believe in freedom. We believe in hope. We believe in the ability to be able to follow your dreams, create your dreams. We do believe in walking through a city where you don't get shot. We believe in bringing people to justice. We believe in earning what you have instead of giving it to somebody. We believe in a lot of different ideologies and thought processes here in the United States, and it's a very different thought process from the Democratic scenario. And again, I've got a lot of friends that are Democrats, for the record, okay? Certainly a lot of family that are Democrats as well. And I don't really say much because, you don't really talk about politics when you're at a party, right? You don't really talk about politics when you're sitting around a bonfire, right? Because what does it do? It always starts a problem, right? It always starts an issue, and it could be a very, very, very heated issue, but it always starts a problem, at least from what I've seen. I believe that the United States of America has reawakened, and I am so happy to be able to say that, publicly. I believe that we have got a long way to go, but the movement of the Republican Party, the movement for freedom in this country is now here and will never, ever leave again. And you've got people like myself. You've got many other people out there that represent the Republican mindset. They're not going away. They're only getting stronger. And for God's sakes, Americans, please open up your eyes and realize that it is not just okay to be a Republican. It is awesome. It's wonderful. It's honorable. It's patriotic to be a Republican here in this great country of the United States of America. And if you have to second guess what party you want to actually go to, just remember something. We all bleed red.